Hello, friends, and happy Friday to you all. It's great to be back. I am really looking forward to tonight. Last week was just kind of sad and lonely without you. That's not true. I was with my wife, so it couldn't have been sad and lonely, but it wasn't as much fun. I better not say that it was her birthday. You know what? I'm just going to shut up and start over. Hello! I am enjoying some Haunted Bookshop in the Matches Memorial Friday 7 Alley, as is the tradition here on the Friday night live stream. And it's great to see that so many of you folks have already assembled. Fantastic. And this is a good night tonight because we had to fit a lot in. We got the tobacco of the month. We got to be a choosing tonight, and we'll try that out. And I want to talk a little bit about preparation for the show next week. Columbus Pipe Shows next week. So there will not be a live stream next week. But maybe I'll try to pop on for a little bit or something. We'll see what happens. It rarely works out, but we'll see what life does for us. Anyway, let's see who we have thus far assembled here. It looks like a good crowd already. We got David Bookshop with his 320 Rossi and Maker's Bourbon. Yes, indeed. There's Pondering with Pepe's Pipes. Good to see you, Pepe. Not going to make it to Ohio. I'm sorry to hear that. Steve Stazak, I look forward to seeing you, Steve. Good to see you're going. There's Chris Weber checking in from Iowa. Always good to see you, Chris. Big Dave. My buddy Big Dave, good to see you. Declan Flutterjohn made it again. Good to see you, Declan. Bona Piper, the only man who I thought might get my St. Helena joke, and nobody got my St. Helena joke. I was very disappointed. Or at least nobody said they got it. There's Patrick Grant. Good to see you, Patrick. Algonquin Breyer? Almost tripped me up tonight. Lord Hogarth. Hello there. Ronnie Ewing. Gordy, Mitten State Piper. Doug Owen, good to see you guys. Creator of the Boundless Universe, Dr. Boomstick. How you doing, Doc? James Steidle. Good to see you folks. And there's Signal Man Tony from Rhode Island. Great to see you, Tony. Good stuff. Bodo Piper got the quote at least. He got tonight's quote. Yes, yes indeed. Declan says, what do you think of Royal Comfort making a comeback? I was never involved when I was here originally, so I'm curious about the old guard's reaction. Declan, I'm not even sure what you're referring to there. Maybe I'm not old guard enough. Anybody else know what Royal Comfort is? John Brett, hello. Trucking Piper. Oh, I won't make it to Columbus. So sorry to hear that, Trucking. It would be great to see you. Poem, good to see you tonight. No, John, you can't be late. Don't you dare say that. And no, I think we're all caught up. Fantastic. So yeah, I was on vacation of sorts. We went to I'm gonna look it up because I feel terrible. I keep forgetting the name of this place. I want to say that it's Smithville, and then I want to say it's Stevensville. I don't know why I cannot keep this straight, but it's in Maryland, and it's near the military base that starts with an A that I can't think of right now. I'm losing it. Annapolis. There we go, Annapolis. And it was, come on, where are you? Come on, I gotta find. It was Stevensville, Maryland. Little island on the bay. The wife's family rented an Airbnb, which was a little bit weird. To be honest, it was a strange experience. So I got to stay in the house with my wife, her two sisters, and my mother-in-law, and that was. So I spent a lot of time sitting on the bulkhead that was sort of ending the property and starting the little beach that went out to the bay, and watching birds, and I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. I'm not a bird watcher, but I've been trying to pay a little bit more attention to them because they're fascinating creatures. And I do have a phone app where I can identify them and keep a life list. And I added the double-crested cormorant to my life list, so I'm very happy about that. Even got to see him airing out his wings. That was pretty cool. Royal Comfort was an old aromatic from the 80s that was discontinued. Well, I do not don't do aromatics, so not surprising that I don't remember it. Anybody know who made it and who's bringing it back? Oh, it was Middleton. Okay, thank you, Big Dave. A pipe smoker is never late. Well put, Gordy. Patrick's got haunted books up in his Friday Savinelli. Smooth Piper has been here lately. I'm sure he'll show up. Carrie, hi, good to see you. Arango. Arango still exists? I thought Arango was bought out by C&D a long time ago. Pipe smokers are people who hold a purpose beyond themselves. I'll consider that poem. Boswell with Autumn Evening for John Brett. Very nice. Mitten State Piper says Royal Comfort is being re-released by Arango. Can't remember who made it previously, but it's a Red Virginia toasted Cavendish Burley Perique blend with a sweet flavoring. I like everything up to the sweet flavoring. Maybe I'll give it a try. Maybe I'll give it a try. I might be surprised. I had a great time, Creator. I did. I drank a lot. I'll have to admit, I did drink an awful lot. They're wonderful people. They really are. I love my wife's family. And we did have fun. The highlight of it for me was on her birthday. We did a bunch of stuff. We went out to a special place for lunch, and then they booked a. I probably shouldn't tell this story. They booked a what was it called? Happy Hour cruise. So you get on this boat, and I think it can hold about 80 people, and it probably had about 20 people on it. And you basically ride around on the boat, and there's a guitar player who plays and sings, and you get to drink. Now that's all sounds great. I think it costs like $40 a person or something. That's great. But what I didn't realize was that you had to pay for the drinks, and I'm sure they weren't cheap. I actually don't know how much they were because I just used my card and drank. I didn't care. But as we're floating around listening to the guitar player, and I'll tell you more about him because he was kind of cool. As we're floating around listening to the guitar player and drinking, I realized what we did was we paid $40 to go into a bar that you're not allowed to leave for 90 minutes. That's a very strange business model, but apparently it works. But I had a surprising amount of fun, probably because I was having a lot of beer, but I just enjoyed being on the boat. It was kind of nice just kind of being on the boat and, being in the water and that kind of stuff. Not in the water, but on the water. But Arango is still around, says Mitten State Piper. Oh, cool. I did not know that. The Balkans, I knew the Balkan Supreme was an Arango blend, but I swore that I saw that it must have been another company that began with an A that C&E bought. Hey. Yes, bar trapped indeed, Carrie. That's exactly what it was. It was a bar trap. Where was I going? Oh, this guitar player was I looked at this guy and I said, okay, this is like a guy that wandered out of his dorm room 20 years ago carrying a guitar and never put it down. And I was certain it was going to be folk music. I just thought this is going to be horrible. And he had this little, it was a solid body, but it was shaped like an acoustic guitar. And it sounded like an acoustic guitar, but he had effects on it and stuff, so you could play it like electric guitar. And so he was playing acoustic style, but then he would slip in a lot of like jazz and blues and stuff. But he wasn't really, nobody was noticing that. He wasn't drawing attention to it. He was just doing these songs, and they were songs that everybody on this thing would recognize. None of them were like deep oldies. None of them were like modern songs, but things like from probably late 70s to mid 80s or something like that. Um, Maybe a couple earlier, maybe a couple of 60s, maybe even something like late 80s, early 90s. I don't remember all the stuff he played. Again, I was taking advantage of the not free bar. But he played, and some of you are going to laugh at this, but he said his next song is you'll all recognize. It's called "I Will Survive," and it was the disco. I forget who the woman was that sang this, but this "I Will Survive." This is a horrible song. Okay, this is an absolutely horrible song, in my opinion. I don't like that genre of music. And he's playing it, he's singing it, and he is doing like jazz riffs in this song, and he turned it into like this jazzy, upbeat. Um, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was so much fun to listen to. I was paying more attention to the music than the words, and it was like, what's he going to do next? What's he going to do next? And I actually told him after we were getting up to get off the boat and everything, the show was over. I went up and I said to him, I just want to let you know I never thought it was possible to enjoy "I Will Survive," and I did. He had a good laugh about that. So Gaynor, yes, it was somebody, Gail Gaynor, Gail Gaynor, not a football player, Gail Gaynor. Who am I thinking of? It was something like that. It wasn't a football player. Ah, that's a shame, Dr. Broomstick. Irish coffee is one of life's pleasures, but I'm sure you'll find other things to enjoy. Whale blubber in burning oil spilt. That would be nice. Gloria Gaynor. Gloria Gaynor. Who's Gail Gaynor? Did I make that up, or is there was a football player named Gail Gaynor, I think. Darkfire, Kentucky can do that to some folks, 1 PS. Hillbilly Piper, 8:10 a.m. there. Hey, Hillbilly, are you just vacationing there, or is that like your new home? Was it Diane Summers? No, I don't think so, Ronnie. I don't think so. I don't think it was Diane either. She wasn't Diane. She was Donna. We all do it something, Ronnie. Hi, Pierogi's got the Black Irish twist going. Wonderful. That was the last tobacco of the month. We're going to pick a new one tonight. I do have another story from the trip. I'm gonna actually do. Gail Sayers. Thank you, Big Dave. Yes. How I got that. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. Oh, Carrie, sorry to hear that, but I hope you're doing well. Sorry to hear that there's no pipe, but I hope you're doing well, post op. Ah, thank you, Patrick. I do indeed have a beverage tonight, as I always do. We have Alien Irish Red. You know, if it wasn't for Patrick and I think Gary, I would probably never drink. Unless I'm trapped on a boat. Apparently that's a trigger for me. Gail Sayre was the Kansas Comet. He played football for the Chicago Bears. Thank you, Big Dave. Declan's got Bayou Night in a yellow bowl with state Imperial Bulldog. Nice pipe. In with both feet. Good to see you. Tossed out some Toscano Puccini this afternoon. Couldn't smoke it straight. Or mix with. Yeah, it is. That's a strong thing. Yeah, but everybody's got their wheelhouse. That one's not in yours. Oh, Carrie, hope that pain is something you can deal with, and yeah, as John says, we'll definitely be praying for you, my friend. You know what, Piper Oki? I don't even think I can read that sentence, but at least the Black Irish Twist is there. Brian Piccolo, of course, Big Dave. That's why I know the Brian song. That's why I know the name. Okay, now it makes sense. Martina Lamb, Orlick, and a Missouri Meerschaum Little Devil. Nice stuff. Smarty Bob, just in time. Hey, Bob, you going to go to Columbus this year? Big Country Briar, good to see you, Cole. All is doing well here. G&H Dark Bird's Eye. That is good stuff, yes. Candy bacon. There you go. Yeah, Piper Oki, you might have invented your own version of bacon old fashioned. Winhall Futura with the usual ginger ale. Gotcha there, Gary. You're planning great, Bob. I hope to see you there. Be wonderful. I'm definitely going, and I'm going to be there Friday for the slow smoke. I'm going to give it another try. Black Irish Twist is probably very effective with the flies. You know, I had no problems with flies or mosquitoes when I was at the beach, and everybody else did, so I was proud of that. But I did manage to sit on an anthill. That was interesting. Didn't lead to anything. Just there were lots of ants around. I was like, gee, there's a lot of ants around. And I was wearing jeans. They didn't bother me. I stood up and like brushed the back of my pants off. I'm like, what? Why is my butt so sandy? And I looked down and there's the anthill. I'm sure they weren't happy, but not much they could do through the blue jeans. Yes, Ozzy Osbourne, Big Dave. I know. That was a shock. I guess it shouldn't be considering his age and his health, but yeah, it's always a shock. And Hulk Hogan. C&D Cube Cut Burley is good stuff, creator. Very good stuff. Ronnie's asking if fly fishing is a full-time venture. Ronnie, the best times to fly fish are going to be in the spring and the fall. Um, you don't want it to be too hot because the fish just they don't do much when it's hot. They just kind of hunger down and wait it out. And if you do catch them when it's hot, you're going to hurt them. They can't fight and recover well. So if you're catch and release, you don't want to fish when it's hot. Um, you can fish all winter, but then you're fishing all winter, and the fish aren't very active, but they will eat, and you can catch them. But the best times are going to be spring if you're into like hatches and all that, and then fall if you're more into nymphs or caddis. If you're into mayfly hatches, you want to be in the spring. They're called mayflies after all. Um, but there's still a lot of activity in the fall. Barry Wolf and Miss Kathy, good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. Yes, Ryan Sandberg. Once played second base for the Phillies, I believe. Very sad. Not very old. Oh, Cole, I would really be disappointed if you don't make it. Darn. I hope you can. He played for the Cubs, Doug. I'm sure he played. It might have just been one season, but I'm sure he played for the Phillies at some point. People who fly seem to be really testy. Maybe it's because their wings are tired, Ronnie. Now, Pepe, I think more than half of trout fishing is conservation. I know he played second base, and I'm sure he played most of his career with the Cubs, but I'm telling you, he played with the Phillies. Sorry to disagree with you, Doug and Big Dave, but I'm like 95% certain about this. Pepe, I'm not a good guy to ask about real fishing. You mean like bait casting? I don't know anything about that. Oh, the Cubs have one of those teams, Doug? I think I'm looking it up now. He was a second baseman for the Phillies in 1981, and then he played with the Cubs 82 through 94, and then 96 through 97. So he played for the Phillies before he played for the Cubs. Actually, that was his first season. So he started his career with the Phillies. Huh. You want to trap fish, Dr. Boomstick? I guess you can try. Not as much fun, though. I like to eat them too, Smarty Bob, but they're a heck of a lot of fun to try and catch. It's sad, though. 65 is very young. Yeah, knowing the Phillies, Doug, that would be their modus operandi. They would draft a really amazing player and then let him go because they're the Phillies. Lord Hogarth, I hear you need a big bathtub for that. Oh, that won't blind you. Oh, that's never mind. Getting your PSA checked can save your life. Indeed, Big Dave. One of those things you should do. And check yourself. Yeah, we go up and down, Poem. Sometimes we got 50, sometimes we got 70, sometimes we got 20. It's okay. What I've been very impressed by lately, and of course this might change tonight, but um, the past couple of months, I don't really pay attention to the analytics and all that stuff. It really doesn't matter. I just do this for fun, and you guys have fun. That's good enough for me. But when I end the stream, there's a little um, graph that shows, people joining and like the basically the accumulation of viewers. And it used to be that that would peak early and drop off. And the past couple of months, maybe as much as the past 6 months, it's been like steadily rising and staying. And I really appreciate that. It means that we've got an audience that's hanging out and is engaged. And that's, it's fine either way, but it's just nice to see that. I know, Doug. I know, but I've been there too, buddy. Been there too. It's a hard game to be a fan of sometimes. Are you taking is Pondering taking orders for 1920 flappers? Because I want to get in on that too. Oh, and Jackknife Plug is wonderful stuff, Declan. Wonderful stuff. Burnt pepperoni. Piperoki, what have you done to your palate with that weird beer? Ah, okay. So Poem is double dipping. Oh, why did they have to send him to the Mets, Doug? That was that hurts. That really hurts. For you guys that aren't baseball fans, the Phillies and the Mets have a long-standing rivalry, and right now they're swapping back and forth first place. It's very close, like one game either way. At least it was. I haven't paid attention for the past week or so. So the Cards trading the best closer in baseball to the Mets really hurts. N-1 indeed, Poem. Well, technically I'm connected, so make it N-2. But I'm also here, so I guess that, no, don't make it N-2. Make it N-1. Green tea brought back the smoked bacon. This is fascinating, Piperoki. It's like we're doing a little science experiment on your palate. Northwest Arkansas Pipe Show. That sounds like fun. Is that coming up? Is that this coming week? So my plan for next week, I'm working Wednesday, but I've taken off Thursday, Friday, and my plan is to leave very early Thursday morning. I'm going to hit a couple places along the way. Um, I haven't quite figured out exactly which way I'm driving yet and what those places are, but I got some plans in mind. And I'll get into Columbus Thursday evening, and then Friday is the slow smoke. So I'm really looking forward to that. Declan, if you can get to a pipe show, absolutely. It's a great time. It really is. You know, it's not just about buying pipes and buying tobacco, although it's obviously a big part of it. But man, you'll meet people, you'll sit in the tent and smoke with them and just have a wonderful day. Uh, just it's very rare that you get together with that many like-minded people and just enjoy your pipe and have a few drinks and just chat. It's a good time. Ah, the Richmond show, my old nemesis. Well, actually, I think I've missed more of the Capital Land shows than the Richmond shows, but every time I plan to go to the Richmond show, something happens. I'd like to. Tried both Billy Budd and Havana Daydream Creator. I actually just finished a 4 ounce bag of Havana Daydream last week. Took me quite a long time to finish it, but it's one of the. It's got some lot of key in it, not as much as Billy Budd in my opinion, but I can smoke the Havana Daydream. Okay, the end of the month then, Ron. Gotcha. Yeah, Chicago's kind of a dream, Kevin. I'd like to do it, but it's a long trip and everything. You'll be there Friday. You gonna slow smoke, Steve? Oh, Poem, don't go predicting Armageddon on us. Was he smoking the briar there, Doug? Bad Dad, lighting up some sunset rum, Cavendish, Burley, Virginia caramel rum, and vanilla. Wow, that sounds like an aromatic for sure there, Bad Dad. Hope you enjoy. It's a great time, Steve. It's a lot of fun. Carrie asks, what are the parameters for a slow smoke competition? Um, Everybody has the same pipe. Everybody has the same weight amount of the same tobacco, and everybody gets 2 matches, and everybody gets the same tamper. And there's some other strange rules about you can't tamp with the pipe out of your mouth and stuff, but that's basically it. You have some number of minutes to light the pipe. I think it might be 3 minutes. You have to use the 2 matches in the first 3 minutes. I might be wrong about that. But you have to use you have to use the 2 matches at the very beginning. Get the pipe lit, and then you just smoke until you need to relight. And if you need to relight, you're out. And that's it. Todd Munson smoking Critter in a custom built. Oh, I envy you, Todd. Ah, yes, you cannot blow through the pipe. That's right, Patrick. Interesting rule. I don't think I ever blow through the pipe though, so. Thank goodness you are allowed to like cover up the top of the bowl because I would never be able to smoke if I couldn't do that. Occasionally. What's the secret to slow smoking? I have no idea, Piper. Um, I I came in third last time and I was shocked that I lasted that long. And I have no idea what I did any different. Because I'm not a slow smoker normally. JD Wolf, I am familiar with that. He's saying he's going to be hitting some of the shows this year, maybe Columbus, and for sure Vegas. Oh, cool. Cool. I will look for him, Steve and Kathy. He was he was actually smoking the briar. That is funny, Doug. Fayum in a Georgetown Imperial with some Jameson sounds wonderful, Steve. Hey, Pone, we've got completely different styles because I've never ashed my pipe. I think that's a terrible thing to do. I think that would really destroy the flavor for me and destroy the burn as well. But I know you and several other guys like to do that, and now you're saying you fluff it. Huh. Yeah, it's too much trouble for me. I, I'm just a stuff and puff kind of guy. Yeah, the first out is kind of funny because you get all the matches that they give you a box that has two matches in it. So you figure if there were, I don't know how many matches are in a box, but let's say 30 matches, so there's 28 matches now. And at least at this show, those go into a Ziploc bag, and they have this big bag as a Ziploc bag of matches, and the first one out gets it. The joke being that they would probably need it. It was hilarious. Last year it was Greg Tunnel who just couldn't get the darn thing lit. It was a shame. He doesn't use matches, and it was windy. It was really tough. Yeah, Cole. I mean, the experience was far worth it. I think I could be wrong about this, but I think it was $10 to enter. Now, for $10, you get a corn cob pipe. Some pipe shows are more expensive, and you get a briar pipe. But for this one, you got a cob, and of course, you got the tobacco and the tamper. And then if you come in the top, I think it might have been the top five, you get a prize of some sort. Smoking straight Virginia will help you slow down your cadence. That is probably true, Patrick. But then I'd have to smoke straight Virginia, and I ain't doing that. All right, Dr. Boomstick, thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend, buddy. I think it just depends on how, I was going to say how organized the group is, Patrick, but I don't want to say that because I really don't know about the NASPC. They're great guys and they put on a great show, but there's been some. Yeah, I was joking with somebody recently that they've started an Instagram account, and their Instagram account is like the flyer for the show and one picture from last year's show, I think. And I'm like, okay, great, they're entering the 20th century, but they still write on the flyer the URL to register for hotel rooms and to get the low rate because you get a show rate. So if you want to use that URL, since it's a PDF file, you have to actually sit there and type out the whole thing. And I'm like, why don't you? It's on their website. You go to their website, you have to open a PDF document and type out the URL to register for the hotel room. Why don't they put the darn link on the website? So the joke I'm making there is that if that's a problem, getting things organized enough that you could get out the information ahead of time, let people know what the cost will be, have them register for the slow smoke so that you have the pipes available. I mean, that takes a lot of work. Dr. Boom sold lightning rods, Gary? That's an interesting occupation. Speaking of lightning rods, we had a spectacular thunderstorm come in on Sunday when I was at the beach. And it was wonderful sitting there at the bay watching the lightning strike the bay. I haven't done that since I was a little kid and I stayed at my grandparents' house in West Wildwood, which was right on the bay. It's just so beautiful. And the fact is, people will say, "Oh, it's dangerous." Hey, you got a huge ground plane in front of you. The odds of that lightning hitting you are pretty low. But don't take my word for that. Saw a pipe thing there. Piperoki, any thoughts on repairing a hairline crack on the shank of a meerschaum? Piperoki, I know almost nothing about meerschaum. I mean, a hairline crack on the shank, you're going to need a band, but I have no idea how you glue meerschaum, or because if it was briar, I would glue it, I would band it, and that would be it. But I have no idea with meerschaum. Armchair Piper, yes, it was a beautiful day today. It was. It cooled off nicely. We did have some rain yesterday. Pretty severe rain yesterday. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning getting some garden time in because it's been too darn hot to do anything out there. And tomorrow it's going to be in the 60s for quite a while. Piper on the 45, lurking on the way home from work. Great to see you, Piper on the 45. Drive safely, my friend. There's David G. Good evening, David. H&H Larry's Blend and an LCS Briar number 1040. Cool. I don't know if thin CA is going to work, Todd, because it's just going to soak right into the meerschaum. And I don't know if it'll bond. Palm, I know almost nothing about ball lightning other than it happens. Um, it is kind of weird though. I mean, electricity doesn't normally work like that. It wants to go somewhere usually. So I don't know. I don't know what that is. Declan got a big canute or newt of Denmark freehand stummel off of eBay and was curious how to go about fitting a new stem. Well, if I was doing it, Declan, I would probably do things you wouldn't do because I have a lathe that would actually make the stem from a rod of vulcanite. Um, you're probably going to want to get a stem from prefabricated stem. But honestly, if you just if this is a one-off thing for you, find somebody that'll fit a stem to it for you. And there's plenty of folks out there that'll do it. I always send people to Tim West, which is jhlow.com. Does very good work, has quick turnaround. Jim, I'm blanking on Jim Finn, who is premiumpolishedpipes.com. Jim actually learned his trade off of Tim, and I've interacted with Jim quite a bit. He's a good guy. And then there's Briarworks and other folks you can find on the internet. But those are the two that I usually send people to. Not that there's anything wrong with the others, but I just know those two guys. 3 inches of rain, two drops 3 inches apart. I love it. That is great. Forgot it was Friday. My goodness, I look forward to being able to do that, David. Yeah, they have videos of ball lightning, and I've seen them, Gary. I just don't know what it is. It's very weird. And I don't think it's plasma. I don't think we've got conditions that could generate plasma. Under the conditions that ball lightning appears, I don't see how plasma would generate. So I don't think so. Universe doesn't cooperate indeed. There's a famous story about I think it was Niels Bohr, who was a Danish physicist and actually had what's the famous Danish beer company? Begins with a C. Carlsbad. They actually ran a pipe from the brewery to his house. That's how famous he was. So he had a tap in his kitchen with Carlsbad beer. Uh, but Niels Bohr, he famously stood up during someone's presentation because they had found something that really like just screwed up everybody's theories, and he said, "Who ordered that?" So yeah, physics does. We do learn and change our opinion of things. Is the captain competing with the sea monkeys now, Piperoki? Armchair, you've added a Tim West pipe. Good for you. They're nice pipes. Hope you're enjoying it. There's a testimonial from Big Country Briar about Tim West. Yeah, and he's just a darn nice guy too. That's a good point, Doug. I don't know if that freehand is a military mount or a straight. So yeah, getting somebody to do it is probably the right thing. Einstein used Scotch tape to repair his pipes. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't want to know anything about the Starbucks pipeline. they opened one of those around the corner from me now, and it's like right next to a Dunkin' Donuts, and it's funny because the line at Dunkin' Donuts hasn't gotten any shorter. You had Bass Allen Guinness on tap, David, but it wasn't piped in from the brewery, I'm sure. That would be impressive. I have finished this haunted bookshop, I think. Let me just make sure. Let me just make sure. But you know what that means. Because it is the first Friday of the month. We missed last month because things were crazy. And it is truly, truly done. So, it is time to choose this month's tobacco of the month. I know you all get as about excited about this as I do. Duct tape hadn't been invented yet. Einstein lived in a he lived in an earlier time than us, yes. So, gotta pick the tobacco of the month. So we got 3 tobaccos here, and I will go through them. Now we got a poll that I'll put up in the chat, so you don't have to vote now. You don't have to remember numbers or anything. You'll get choices. Everything will be cool. So don't get too worried. And the 3 tobaccos that we're going to choose from in no particular order, and probably not in the order that they're going to be in the thing. No, Mixture 79 is not on the list, Big Dave. Sorry. I don't think I'll ever make that a tobacco of the month. I love it, but I love it in small doses. I don't think I could smoke it for a full month. But who knows? Who knows? All right, number 1. And this, by the way, this is a Cornell and Deal Heavy Night, just so you know. And I didn't plan it that way. It's just these are the 3 that I pulled out, and they all happen to be Cornell and Deal. So number 1 is Cornell and Deal Gentleman Caller. For those of you that don't know, this is a Burley, Virginia with some deer tongue, I think, and yep, that's it, Burley, Virginia. Oh, and it's got a little bit of perique in it too. So this is a slightly fancier version of Crooner with less deer tongue, which means my wife will let me smoke it, which is nice. So Gentleman Caller, and this is from 2020, and the bottom is bulging quite a bit, which is kind of interesting. Number 2, not in any particular order. You don't have to remember the numbers. Cornell and Deal Shandygaff from 2015, and this is like the 5th time I've tried to get you to pick Shandygaff. And by the way, all of these are really blends that I associate with summer because it's been hot, and I wanted something that would be summery. So this is Cornell and Deal Shandygaff from 2015. It was jarred up back then, and has not been opened since. Don't ask me what's in Shandygaff. It's a Burley-based blend. It's got different Burleys, and I think it's got some Virginia in it. And it has a very interesting flavor that some people describe as salty. I think it's more sour, but good stuff. And it's very good for summertime. And so is all these are. And last but by no means least, this is Burley Flake number 3 by Cornell and Deal. I know I've had this, and this is from 2022, and this was a gift from my buddy Mark in Rhode Island. So thank you, Mark. I do appreciate that. Burley Flake number 2 is it's one of the more complicated ones. So it's rich Darkfire, Kentucky, Virginia, dash of perique, and of course Burley because of Burley Flake. So it's Burley, Darkfire, Kentucky, Virginia, and perique. So it's a burper. Burley Flake number 3 from 2022. So, got Shandygaff from 2015, Gentleman Caller from 2020, and Burley Flake number 3 from 2022. So there we have it, and Big Dave is picking Marianne. All right, so let's see if I can remember how to get the, it's gotta be one of those. Give me a moment. That go away for a moment. All right, here we go. So we will start the poll. And you may cast your votes. It's bouncing around. I only get to see the top one. So right now, Shandigaff's got 40%. Not a huge lead. And we'll give it a minute or two until things settle because it's jumping around still. Doug just wants the Shandigaff to go away. I do love number 2, Doug. It's one of my favorites. But unfortunately, this is number 3. So I agree. The Cornell and Deal Burley Flakes are fantastic. I mean, honestly, if they sold it in bulk, it would probably replace Haunted Bookshop for me. Doug's going with Diana Rigg, huh? Diana Rigg is indeed smoking hot, Big Dave. Indeed. So we seem to have settled down here. I'll give it another 30 seconds or so to cast your votes. It does look like Shandigaff's going to pull it out. Well, I'll be. I'm going to kind of miss being able to try to convince you to pick Shandigaff. All right. Last couple seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we're done. Let's see what we got here. That'd be nice if I could see the results, wouldn't it? I cannot see the results. That's a problem. There we go. Huh. Are the results showing up for you guys? Normally they show up in the chat, but I'm not seeing them. Well, Shandigaff was the winner. Chris has transcribed it for me. Thank you, Chris. So Shandigaff got 42%, Gentleman Kohler 33%, and Burley Flake 24%. Very nice, very nice. All right, so we're going to have us some Shandigaff. You got results twice. I wonder why I couldn't see them. That's a little disturbing. Because that makes it much harder for me to... I mean, it's a much easier way for you guys to vote, but... And plus, I don't have to tally things up, so I guess it's still worth it, but... maybe it's just a glitch tonight. YouTube's weird like that. All right, so we're going to have some Shandigaff. We're going to have that in my little stubby nose warmer that I made. I love this pipe. This is a great driving pipe, by the way. I will probably have this with me when I'm driving to Columbus. The one thing I don't like about it is I made the stem a little too thin, and I put a patch on the bottom of it using that G-Flex epoxy, which is wonderful stuff, and it patched it beautifully, but I did not realize the G-Flex epoxy turns brown over time, or at least turns brown when you have it on a pipe stem. And I can't clean it. It's just, that's the color that it turns. So it's great if you mix it with a black dye and use it to patch a vulcanite stem, but it's not so good at patching an acrylic stem as a clear patch. So anyway, but it's sturdy, works very well. Do I have all messages? So that's a good point. Let's see if that makes a difference. I do now. Ah! Ooh. 1 PS, you're a genius. That was the problem. That was the problem. Labels are incorrect, and I believe it, Poem. I believe it, but you didn't hear it here. You didn't hear it from me. All right, let's get this Shandy Gaff open. Actually, I'm going to put the pipe down for a minute because I want to see. I hope this is not bone dry because this has not been opened since 2015. It's been 10 years since I've opened this jar. I've sealed this jar. My goodness. Oh, vacuum sealed. Smells good. Got a sort of raisiny, plummy kind of smell. I don't think it's porous, Poem. I think it just discolors over time. I think it would be that color if I didn't, if it wasn't being smoked, I think. Could all be conspiring to pull my leg indeed, Ron. I would have known that was the case if I had a lot of Kia blend in there. It was like 80%, a lot of, yeah. 80% of us want you to smoke the Latakia blend. By the way, that's the problem with me and slow smoke competitions. Maybe that's why I'm so good. I'm not good. I did it once. I did better than I expected. But they do tend to give Latakia blends, and I don't like them. So maybe that's why I'm able to smoke them slower. 1PS tech support, indeed. That was the G-Flex, Gary. And it's great stuff. I mean, it's a sturdy patch and everything, but it just discolored. And I suppose if I wasn't lazy, I would make another stem, but I hate making these tiny stems because they're so hard to hold. Plus, I kind of like the look of the pipe otherwise. I mean, I think that stem really goes well with the black rustication and all. Ah, it was a prototype. All right, let's smoke on some Shandy Gaff. Still Edward G. Robbins in this. Why is G-Flex funny? It is called G. Isn't it called G-Flex? Yeah, G-Flex. I got it right back there. Maybe you can't see it, but that's what it's called. Ah, thank you, Cole. Atlas. When I was talking about Orango earlier, Atlas was the company I was thinking of. When I said Cornell and Deal bought, I thought Orango was out of business. Thank you, Cole. You solved two mysteries. So that's, I was thinking of Atlas. And it's an Atlas mixture that C&D acquired the rights to. Shandy Gaff combines burley, Turkish, and Perique leaf to produce a smoke often described as carrying flavors of ginger and salty sea air. Now, I promise you, I will not detect any salty sea air. Bearwolf and Miss Kathy, thanks for joining us, my friends. It was great to see you. You have a good weekend. It has a sourness to it that comes from the Turkish, and I think for some reason that combines with the Perique to create a sensation that's similar to salty, but it's not salty, it's sour. But you know what? If you want to call it salty, you call it salty. That's okay. It's been a long time since I smoked this, but actually it's been 10 years since I smoked this. But this strikes me as being much sweeter. It's incredible stuff, Steve. I mean, it's really an excellent epoxy and perfect for like repairs in the bite zone. Was the GBD stem acrylic? I'm guessing it was. And if so, did you see any discoloration? I'm curious. Her Majesty's Secret Service, my favorite James Bond movie, Big Dave. Bond fans get so mad at me for that. This is the original George Lazenby uh, Bond. Diana Rigg played Bond's wife. It's a wonderful movie, and I love it. I honestly think it might be my favorite Bond movie. And oh, the Bond fans get so angry about that. That's not a canon film. Oh, good point. I shouldn't call Cole a genius. Oh, okay, so Orango is a wholesaler, but they don't blend themselves. Interesting, Doug. Mushroom legs showing up early for next week. I got bad news for you, Ray. I'm not going to be here next week. So you're way early for the week after. Oh, you put some black pink, so it's for a black stem. Okay, Steve. Yeah, it works great for that. I mean, you can see it. You know, it'll never polish up the same way that the ebonite will. So you can see that there's a patch, but it you can blend it in pretty good, and it's just so tough. I also really like it for. We're talking about epoxy, by the way. I really like it for gluing tenons in when I'm doing like a Delrin tenon on a because I use Delrin tenons when I make acrylic stems because the acrylic's very snappy, and it's great for that. Oh, Rango imports rat trays. Nice. Or is it rat to trays? I always have trouble pronouncing that because I want to pronounce both T's. C&D exclusive. Haven't had that one, Cole. Sweet and spicy vapor. Nice. Yeah, she was wonderful in everything she did. I saw her in a it was on I can't remember if it was on it must have been on Acorn TV. There was this British show called the 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 Detectorist. I'm pretty sure it was called The Detectorist. It was about these guys that did metal detecting, looking for stuff in like farms around England. And it really was an interesting show. It had some funny moments, it had some sad moments. I have no idea how to classify it, but it just was really interesting to watch the show. And she was in it. And the thing is, I really liked the show, and I liked the character that she played. I didn't know it was her. And this was one of the last things she did before she died. This is Diana Rigg I'm talking about. So if you ever get a chance to see The Detectorist, it's actually a really interesting series. Ah, thank you, Ray. This is one of mine. I'm quite proud of it. Liquid glass. Do you mean water glass? The stuff that some people use for uh, pipe coating, bowl coatings? I've never used it, David. I've played with it a bit in the context of trying different bowl coatings, but I don't like it. It's just too fussy for me. Okay, Steve, so you've seen it. I'm so glad somebody else has seen The Detectorist. How would you classify that? I mean, it wasn't really a drama, it wasn't a comedy. I don't know what to call it. there wasn't a whole heck of a lot that happened in it. It was just following these guys doing their thing, you know, and it wasn't just about metal detecting, it was about their lives and all the stuff that happened to them. Gary, I think he's referring to water glass, which is a sodium silicate. It's actually, if you see these commercials for this, what is that stuff called where you smear it on your face and it makes the wrinkles go away, and the woman yells about her father and stuff. It's a very annoying commercial. And then all these people with like this greasy stuff all over their face say it's wonderful. I can't think of what it's called, but it's always on MeTV, the commercials for this stuff. That is the same thing as water glass. At least that's the active ingredient in it. When it dries, it shrinks. So you smear the stuff on your face, it dries, it draws in, and you don't have wrinkles for however long it takes for it to not do that anymore. I personally don't care about wrinkles. I'm more than happy to have mine. Yes, she could act. I've also seen her in some Shakespearean dramas. I saw her in King Lear. She played one of the daughters. I can't remember which one. Um, but really good performance in King Lear. Mushroom leg smoking Sam flakes in a Dunhill Zulu. Very nice. Sam's flake, sorry. Yeah, so David was talking about water glass, and I haven't used it. Interestingly, people used to use it to preserve eggs, which is bizarre to me, but apparently if you dip an egg in this stuff, it just seals all the pores in it, and then you can keep an egg on your tabletop for as long as you want. Um, who knew? Yeah, I would have really liked to see in another season or two of that, Steve. Absolutely. No, it wasn't Preparation H or Botox. This was, oh, come on, you have to have seen these commercials. This woman, it was kind of funny, the history of them, because originally she comes on and she talks about, you know, how she gave it to her father, um, and she was, I think her name was like Lifestyle Expert, somebody or the other, and she gave it to her father, and there's this video of her father putting it on, and his wrinkles go away. And then, like a couple months later, it was she was underneath her underneath her it said paid actress, and then she would talk about her father, and it would say not Annette's real father. Her name was Annette. That's right. Uh, oh, you do the water glass on eggs, Steve? Okay, so people still do that. No, hyaluronic acid is what they injected in my knee, and it was a miracle. I bet the hatching chick thinks that indeed there, David. That would not be a good day if you're a hatching chick. Plexiderm! Thank you, Piper on the 45. Yes, it's Plexiderm. If you haven't had the joy of a Plexiderm commercial, thank you, Big Dave. Look them up. They got to be on YouTube. I mean, the thing that they're annoying. They're really, really annoying. But the thing that I find hilarious about them is that these people. Okay, I'm going to be mean for a moment. Okay, I'm no, you know, paragon of handsomeness here. These people are not attractive people, with or without the wrinkles. And it just seems, and they put this stuff on and it makes their face look greasy. And I'm just so turned off by the whole thing. You know, it's just like, I don't want to watch this. I have no idea how it sells things. Still Game, Scottish sitcom recommended by Big Country Briar. Uh, just seeing it on Netflix. Cool. I will look for that, Cole. I don't care about him either, John. I don't know why anybody does. I mean, I guess women have a bigger issue with that than men do. Greasy's the new look. Ah, so your friend used it and he looked greasy? Okay, I was wondering if it was just like bad studio lighting or something, but yeah. Would not even look better smoking a pipe. We're not being nice people tonight. Oh, they're making. Oh, I'm looking forward to that, Patrick. We've talked about this before. So season 2 of Wednesday starts tomorrow. I really liked that show. I'm a huge Addams Family fan, and I was fully prepared to hate it because I didn't like any of the Addams Family movies. I thought they were all stupid. I liked the original Addams Family show, and I watched the first episode of that, and I was hooked because they did such a good job of incorporating things from the old show and making it feel like it really was an extension of the old show. The only problem I had with the Addams Family is the actors who they got to play Gomez and Morticia. They were not even remotely similar in looks. But the girl that they have playing Wednesday, you really could believe that that's little Wednesday grown up. And oh, it's a great show, really great show. You know, those chickens do have it rough, Doug. I agree. Huh, Paul, that's cruel. Lurch used to be on a police show. I can't think of that one, John. You sure you're not thinking of Herman Munster, who used to be on Car 54? She does play a good Wednesday. And there's a scene in the first season. There's a scene where she's at the school dance. So the whole thing takes place in this academy for monsters, basically. And I guess she's considered a monster. I don't know why, but anyway. Um, so they got various different types of monsters. They're kids, but like they can be werewolves or vampires or whatever. And they have a school dance, and there's this scene became very popular. It was everywhere where she does this dance, and if you just watch it, you're like, oh, there's a girl dancing. It's not, what's the big deal? But if you're a fan of the show, the original show, there are a lot of episodes where Wednesday would dance. The one that I really loved is she tries to teach Lurch how to dance, and it's hilarious because Lurch is this big, big guy, and she's this little tiny girl. But they had her dancing a lot, and the dances were usually kind of strange, which fit with the show. Well, if you watch that dance sequence, she actually is, or the choreographer did it, but she's actually inserting things that the little girl would have done, and it's really, really funny. But if you didn't see the original show, you wouldn't get that. You would think it was just this girl dancing. I have no idea why it became so popular. Fred Gwynn was on Car 54 with Al Lewis. Yes, yes, Al, I forgot about Al Lewis being on that. You're right. There's also some really funny YouTube videos where they take those dance sequences from the original show and they put different music to them. And they're just such odd dances that they basically fit with anything. So I saw one that was I think it was Sugar Magnolia Grateful Dead, and it works, you know. It's kind of funny to see. She studied the original Wednesday dances. Well, it paid off because that sequence was really good. I think the chicken union would be striking. You're right. Lost in Sauce, John. That was the story of my vacation last week. Ah, Lost in Space. Yeah. What was the mother in that June? She just turned 100. I know her name was June because she turned 100 in June, and I thought, I bet that's how she got that name. Why can't I think of June's last name? Good Lord, I'm losing my mind. You guys are watching the slow decline here as I can't remember anything. Lockhart, thank you, Bad Dad. Thank you. Just turned 100 in June. Amazing. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Creator. I need to keep you guys around so that when I can't remember these things, I could just wait a few minutes and eventually one of you will shout it out. It comes with age, indeed. It's what 2015 tobacco can do, yes. This is good, by the way. The sweetness in this is really accentuated. So good choice, guys. Good choice. But I have to admit, I stacked the deck a little bit tonight. I mean, the only wild card for me was the Burley Flake because I the Dark Fired is not my favorite. Crowdsourced memory. That's exactly right, James. And I appreciate it. Maybe that's what's happening on August 8th, 9th, and 10th, Poem. Maybe that's what you dreamt about. They're coming to take June Lockhart back. You met a woman whose name was, oh no, Nina May, and she was born on the 9th of May. My goodness. The tobacco is Shandygaff from 2015, Steve. It's a Cornell and Deal blend. Mitten State Piper's got some HU tobacco. Edward G, an original Paul Cuyahoga made in Flint. Very nice. I might have pronounced Paul's name there. We will see, Poem. We have no choice. We can't we can't stop August 9th from coming. And I'll be either in Columbus or on my way. Is that right? I'm trying to pull up the calendar here. The 9th is Saturday. Get tennis shoes and track suits ready for the 8th. There you go. Patrick's got some Savinelli 145 from 2021 and a Mir Poker. Nice. My memory is in the crowd indeed, Gary. None of that cloud stuff. I'm using crowd memory. 8th, 9th, and 10th. Okay, well that corresponds to the Columbus show pretty exactly there, Paul. So I don't know if Cole's still on, but I take it from his statement earlier that he may not make it, but Brian is still going. So that's great. I haven't heard from Odie in a while. I don't know if WKR Piper is going to be there. I hope so. He's a great guy. It's always good to see him. And I heard from Eric, the blue collar pipe smoker, last weekend. He's definitely going to be there. And I'm assuming that Larry will be there. Buttons for your britches. Odie is going. Great, great. I'll look forward to that. And I was talking to Jeff, Temper Tantrum, last week, the week before last, and he's going to try to make it. Scripto's going to be there. Cool. And Greg Folk. I hope Greg shows up. I always want to call him Gary. I hope his name's not Gary, and I'm calling him Greg by mistake. I'm pretty certain it's Greg. Sorry, my friend. He's a good friend. I spend lots of time talking to him every year, and I always want to call him by the wrong name. I feel terrible about that. But hopefully he'll turn up. I'm sure Andre will be there. Yeah, it'll be a good time. Looking forward to it. Maybe Corvette Jim will make an appearance. Oh, Gary, sorry to hear that. Jim is going to be there on the 9th. Okay, thanks, Patrick. That'll be cool. Gary, get some Benadryl. Come on. No, I know they can be problematic, but it'd be wonderful to see you, my friend. Steve, if you're still on, I believe I met you and your wife at the show last year. And there were some other folks. Met a lot of folks last year. And that's really one of the cool things about it. You know, being somebody that is a video, what do you call this? A video maker. I hate the term creator. It's like just sitting here talking in my basement. But you know, it's kind of neat that people will come up to me and say hello because I'm not a real social person. So when I go to tool meets, it's a very different experience because I'm just not a guy that's going to go and start striking up conversation. So I'm kind of lonely when when I go to tool swaps and things like that. But not when I go to the pipe show for sure. All right, John. Good night. Where did the time go? Indeed, Patrick. We're out of time actually, but I still have a little bit of beer to go because I'm not keeping up. What time is it? Oh, a minute over. Hope you guys don't hold that against me. By the way, if you're the sharp-eyed among you, might have noticed that I no longer have a broken arm on my shop glasses here. That's because I never throw anything away. And I was walking through my garage the other day, I noticed on top of the freezer I had set a pair of these that I had dropped on the concrete, and this part of the frame had broken. So the glasses had fallen out, but the arms were still good. So I swapped out the arm. Oh man, that sounds good, Cole. Yeah, Brian, Friday night is a night to be hydrated for sure. I'm thinking about picking up some scotch. I haven't brought anything before. I think if I show up with a big bottle of Seagram's, people aren't gonna flock to me. So maybe I'll find something good. David G. Prayer for Simon's son. Head injury from motorcycle accident. Oh my goodness. Stable and discharged from the hospital. Well, that's good. That's good. Glenna, that's right, Steve. That's right. Yes. Okay. Will Glenna be going this year, Steve? Yeah, Gary. It's uh, allergies are terrible. I hope you get some relief soon, buddy. And have a good night. Uh, Looks like Armchair Piper's taking off. Good night, Ed. Drop your new glasses the first week. Yeah. Well, these. I mean, I buy these. I think I get four of them for $20, and they're nice because they're progressive lenses and they've got the blue screen filter, but they're cheap and they break easily. But the nice thing is that if I break them, I just grab another pair out of the box and just order another box when I run low. So I've always got them. And my wife says, why don't you just leave them? Because, why don't you leave a pair in the basement, leave a pair in... And the problem is, if I do that, they will all migrate to one place. I don't know why that happens, but they will. Like if I leave a pair in my office, a day will come when all of my reading glasses are in my office at work. If I leave a pair down here, a day will come when they're all down here. So putting this thing around them reminds me when I stand up to go upstairs, I go, oh yeah, I got to take those off, and I set them down. Otherwise, they like to gather. Ah, Phillies won. Thank you, Kevin. Both be there. Cool, Steve. Cool. Look forward to seeing you both. I don't think it's a glasses magnet so much as the glasses are magnetic for one another, Martina. Because that's the problem. They tend to aggregate. That's my problem is dropping them, David, and I think also just when I'm putting them on, I'm bending these out, so I just tend to eventually weaken them. But these are so cheap that gluing them, there's nothing to glue. When they break, there's really nothing to glue. And I've got a prescription for reading glasses that I've never gotten filled because I figure when I can get them for $5, why bother? Because I'll break those too. I'm going to drop them. I'm going to break them. So. Hey, there's the furnace for you, heating the water. We'll go out with the furnace. How's that sound? All right, folks. Well, we've gone a little over, and I do think, hey, it's little Piper Todd showing up just as I'm saying goodbye. Good to see you, Todd. Uh, so I'm going to draw this to a close. It's been great seeing you all tonight. Had a fantastic time. Thanks for returning after the week off, and I hope you return after next week off because I'll be at the pipe show. I will try to do something. I don't know if it'll be Friday night or not. If it is, it's just going to be like a 10-minute thing. And it probably won't be at exactly 8 o'clock, but we'll try to do something just to say hello. So keep your eye out on Friday night, and maybe you'll get a little glimpse of the Friday night festivities at the pipe show. Unless I forget, so don't plan on it. But I will be back the following Friday, and we'll do more of whatever the heck this is called. And I'll see you Sunday. I got a vacation story for you that I think you'll find interesting. A little bit sad, but yeah. And yeah, so take care all. Anybody going to the show, safe travels, and I look forward to seeing you there. And if not, I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. So everyone take care. Have a fantastic weekend. And thank you for joining me tonight. Bye all.